Good morning and welcome to the U-Respect facility. It's the start of a bilateral series between CWI and Cricket America. Word from the center, the West Indies have won the toss and have decided to bowl first here at U-Respect. The West Indies team, Samara Ramnath, captain, Ibuni Brathwaite, Tiana Herbert, Sabril Headley, Nijani Cumberbatch, Danielle Mans, Brianna Plummer, Adana Borg, Abigail Bryce, Kirsten Sunderland, Aliyah Weeks. The reserves for today are Brianna Haricharan, Zakia Harilal, Amrita Ramtahal, Jada Tidal, and Kiara George. So at this stage we are going to the toss.
Welcome and good morning to the U-Respect facility here. Everyone is excited about this 5-match series. The West Indies, they just had their domestic tournament and that has led to a team being selected to come up against the Americans. USA Cricket on the rise. So they're here, and the girls, of course, from the USA will be looking to push forward even more. Chetna Reddy, captain of the USA team, is here. And of course, Samara Ramnath, one of the stars in women's cricket in the Caribbean. She's also here as well. She has the point.
Heads was the call.
By Michael Raghunath says.
Tails it is, Samara.
Tails. If we can have a quick word with you, Samara, what you've decided to do? What's the thinking behind that?
I think the pitch looks really good. We can probably take advantage of that.
You didn't play in your regional tournament against the house?
It's coming along, it's good. It's keep but I'm taking every opportunity to go there.
And if Chetna Reddy can join us, Chetna, you lost the toss, you have to bat first. How difficult is that?
I think I backed over about it.
And the girls coming into this tournament, looking to impress the more to the senior university.
Yeah, definitely a lot of new faces in the squad and a lot of
Captain, I want to take a picture with you.
I want to wish you all the best. The news from on pitch side is that the West Indies, they have won the toss and they have asked the USA to take first strike.
Good morning and welcome to the U-Respect facility. It's the start of a 5-match series between the CWI under 19 team, Cricket West Indies, and Cricket America under 19 team. And we're just about to get started here at the U-Respect round. The West Indies winning the toss in this 5-match series between Cricket USA and the Cricket West Indies under 19 team. The West Indies led by no other than the home girl Samara Ramnath leading her charges out to the middle. this CWI team comprises of teams from all over the Caribbean islands coming together as one, having just participated in the Rising Star Under-19 tournament, where most of the games was affected by rain. Fortunately, at the back end of the tournament, we were able to see some improvements in the weather, and it also had a big impact in terms of the performances of some of the teams. I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Barbados for being winners of this year's 2025 Rising Star Under-19 tournament. Congratulations to the young Bajan Divas. And we're just about to get started here. This one is played off the back foot. It's racing out to backward point boundary, and a valiant attempt indeed. Excellent fielding, and restricts the scoring to just a brace. So the Cricket USA is off and running here, 2 without loss, and we are into over number 1. It is a T20I game. So excellent start. This ball is just arcing back into the left-hander from outside the line of the off-stump, getting a hint of in-swing there, and the batter is just able to tap it out to a square leg. There's no run. And again, this one is played down to mid-on. A bit straighter. So Amrita Ramtahal, no, my apology. Yeah, it is Amrita Ramtahal from the U-Spec end. And this one is played off the back foot, getting neatly into line, back and across, and just tamely playing it down to mid-off. There's no run. So Amrita Ramtahal plays for the national under-19 team as well. She plays her cricket with, and they're going to come back for 2. This one is played through that square leg region. Amrita just going into the pads there of the skipper. And we're back here live at the U-Spec. the West Indies captain Samara Ramnath opening things here from the pavilion end. First ball was driven to mid-off, a single on offer, and it brings the skipper back on strike. This one, poor bit of fielding there from the fielder at backward point. It was basically dribbling out to backward point and a single on offer. Just short out leg there from Samara Ramnath. Batter rocks onto the back foot. Snow run is played out to Brianna Haricharan at extra cover. Oh, nicely flighted delivery. A little bit of turn on offer there. It goes past the leg stump. We'll wait on the umpire. And it's signal a bye. So Samara Ramnath extracting some. Looks very dry in nature at the toss. So I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of spinners on shoot today here at the U-Spec facility. And this is played off the back foot. Nice flowing back foot drive, but no run. And it's Mans doing the fielding at extra cover. And lovely flighted delivery there from Samara Ramnath. Samara Ramnath, the West Indies captain, just coming back from injury. She had suffered a broken finger during practice before the start of the Rising Star Under-19 tournament. And now she's fully fit and ready to go. 89. Samrita Ramtal bowling with a slip. A third man in Zakia Harilal. She runs away from the U-Spec end. And this one is just angling into the pads, but doing a bit too much and going past the batter, and a wide signal. Amrita Ramtahal plays a club cricket. With the Hibiscus ladies cricket team. Half volley, and this ball is driven down to mid-off, and immediately they set off for a single, and they get it comfortable at the end. So this USA team, very experienced indeed. It brings Chetna back on strike. Left-handed, also bowls left-arm orthodox as well, so very much an all-rounder in this team, but she's the leader of the pack of this USA Women's Under-19 team. Oh, and overcompensating here is Amrita Ramtahal, and that one goes way past leg stump. And umpire Candice Laborde just extending the arms at shoulder height and letting us know that it is a wide. So Amrita Ramtal struggling a bit here with the left hand right hand combination. Just needs to tighten up her line. And this one is driven down to mid-on. There's no run. And this one is played out to a short backward square. The skipper Samara Ramnath does the fielding but is unable to stop the single, rifling a throw to the keeper, and it had to be backed up. So another single to the total. Short from Amrita Ramtahal, and it's stuck down to fine leg, but some fantastic fielding there by the skipper. A very brave stop indeed, sliding away to the boundary and prevented what have been a boundary, but saving our team 2 valuable runs in the piece. So the score moves up by 2. I'd like to say a special good morning to our listeners wherever you may be this morning. And another attempted pull shot there. Amrita Ramtahal just possibly guilty of bowling a tad too short on this wicket. It seems to be very dry indeed. And at this stage with the new ball just about 3 overs over, one is expected that she'll try and pitch this ball up and get whatever seam or swing on offer. And this one is a lovely catch at mid-wicket. So Amrita Ramtahal making early inroads into this USA under-19 team, and what a wonderful catch indeed at short mid-wicket, diving away and making the breakthrough. So Cricket West Indies drawing first blood very early in the piece here at the U-Spec ground. So it's Nika who is making her way back to the shed, having been caught brilliantly at short mid-wicket. So Amrita Ramtahal, just as we were alluding that she was bowling a bit too short, got that ball on target, just back of her leg, those hard lengths. Nika was trying to force that ball through the onside, getting the inside edge, and a wonderful catch indeed at short mid-wicket. So West Indies ladies here making a very timely breakthrough indeed. But it's going to be Samara Ramnath from the pavilion end. And this one goes past the outside edge. Chetna looking to go back and across and force that ball through the offside, but there was a lot of bounce on offer, and she just decided to allow it to go into the keeper. Kristen Sunderland is the wicketkeeper for the West Indies women. Samara Ramnath, very tight length indeed between the middle and leg. Not much Chetna could do with that delivery. It's played out to mid-wicket where Brianna Haricharan moves smartly to her right and affects the stop. And a lovely floated delivery there from Samara Ramnath, and she gets the second wicket for the West Indies women's under-19 team. Nicely flighted delivery, very tempting indeed. Chetna trying to get to the pitch of the ball, but by the time she almost got there, it was keeper Sunderland making no mistake indeed, and wicket number 2 goes down. So at this stage, I'd like to welcome no other than Liam Mamchan.
Yeah, this is a great start for the young West Indian bowlers. 2 wickets down early. This is the start that they would have wanted. Ramnath at the toss would have alluded to the fact that they think they're better off bowling first, and it's working in their favour so far.
Well, from the evidence, Liam, at the beginning of the game, having inspected having inspected the pitch, it did show a lot of signs that the pitch is extremely dry, which surprises me because there has been a lot of rain during the last week. I'm sure that we both agree that the spinners are going to play an integral part in this game.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason we're seeing Ramnath really up with the new ball in hand. It's a role that she's done well for Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies before, so she's no stranger to it. But she started off well here. This time it's a wide and it's going to run down close to the fine leg boundary and over the ropes now for 4.
Yeah, so overcompensating there, Samara Ramnath. That ball did spin a bit, defeated Sunderland, and it ran away into the fine leg boundary. So 5 wides will be added to the total.
Yeah, and I think just not being able to adjust.
Yeah. This time it's a wide and it's going to run down close to the fine leg boundary, and
We got to take into consideration as well, Liam. She hasn't played cricket for the last month or so, having suffered a broken finger as well. So to see her back in the park is very encouraging signs for this West Indies team.
Yeah, it's a good delivery again. So yeah, you're right about that. She's been out for a while with that broken finger. I spoke to her this morning, and you can look at her finger and you can see there's still some evidence that it is not completely healed, but she's gotten the clearance to play. And she's bowled. Ramnath strikes again, picks up her second wicket in the over, and it
is not completely healed, but she's gotten the clearance to play.
Ball rip from outside the line of the off stump, and one would only want to figure out if there are footmarks outside the line of that off stump, it's going to be very challenging for all the batters to come. I mean, it's a new ball, still some preparation moisture, but having suffered a finger injury, Liam, that ball really fizzed off the surface. So very encouraging signs indeed for the spinners here.
Yeah, so Ramnath was 2 for 7, and the US in a lot of trouble now, 18 for 3 instead of 4th over, and this is not the start that they would have been looking for whatsoever.
For sure, this is not the start they would have wanted, but we also have to take into consideration, Liam, they haven't had the opportunity to have outdoor practice because of the weather conditions as well. So they are going to take a while to acclimatize themselves as well.
Right. So here's Ramnath, final delivery of her second over, and right on spot. A dot ball to finish at the end of 4, 18 for 3.
Yeah, a very dangerous shot indeed. Trying to open up to access that offside with the ball spinning as much as it is. You could really be playing Russian roulette. You could be bowled between the gate there, Liam. Trying to open up the offside. Maybe at this stage of her innings, she might just be well advised, to assess the conditions a bit more before trying to play expansively.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I think if it's one thing that the USA could bank on is that Navi Kambalapali, who's out there now, yet to face a ball, she has experience playing against these girls in the regional under-19 tournament for the likes of the Leeward Islands. So she's got experience, she knows a lot of these girls. She just came back from playing in that regional tournament just a couple of weeks ago, and she had a really good tournament. So I think that's even the conditions here at U-Respect she'll be familiar with, so I think she has a big role to play.
Well, I believe that if Kambalapali does do well here, it could really set up the USA team, because a lot is going to be on our shoulders as we speak, Liam, to try and stitch a partnership of some kind.
So it's in the air, chance of a catch taken.
Stitch a partnership of some kind.
So it's in the air, chance of a catch taken.
Tremendous catch indeed, diving forward, and wicket number 4 goes down.
Yeah, and that's a big wicket. That's Kambalapali, and we just spoke about how important her innings was going to be, and now all of a sudden she has to go first ball without scoring, and the US 18 for 4 and 4.1.
Yeah, so the US team is really struggling here. They are on the back foot as we speak here, but take nothing away from the West Indies girls. They have been fantastic in the early exchanges of this game. Some wonderful catching indeed. And Amrita Ramtahal, based on what we had seen with the team list, she wasn't scheduled to play. Now she has been given the opportunity, and she's gone bang bang.
Yeah, exactly what Amrita Ramtal would have wanted, and that's a brilliant catch there from Cumberbatch. Give a lot of credit to her. She made that into a chance. It was in the air, and it looked like it was just going to drop in front of her, but she pulled out the diving forward. It's never easy, and she's pulled off a really good catch here.
But one thing to take from that dismissal, Liam, is the fact that we've seen time and time again where this pitcher, the respected D, is stopping. The ball is stopping. So one has to really, in order to play that nice extra drive, you got to be very close to the delivery to ensure that your head is over and you're making contact under your eyes. So I'm sure the US team will be doing their due diligence in terms of doing as much assessment as possible, especially from the batters who have returned to the shed, possibly trying to get as much information as to what is taking place out in the middle.
Well, I don't know how much information they would be able to carry on, because you look at the scorecard, Ganesh has faced 2 deliveries and got out. Kambala Pali has just faced 1. Though she faced 7, the only person who spent some sort of time out there was Chetna,
the captain.
Yeah, she faced 14 deliveries, so I think she would be the one that has the most information to take back into the dressing room. Other than that, it's been all the West Indies this morning. It's a lovely shot, but there is a fielder down there at deep point.
So Amrita Ramtal going into the pitch there, not really getting the response that she wanted, short and wide, and that was flared away to point on the boundary. Just a single on offer. There, a single on offer. A textbook for defense there. Lovely delivery there from Amrita Ramtahal, and you could see from time to time she's just exploring those 2 different lengths, Liam. You being a seam bowler yourself, you know the importance of mixing up your lengths, your lines, and also your change of pace as well, Liam.
Yeah, I think after a start like this, you want to be straight, and this time it was a bit too short and pulled away into the onside. It's going to run very close to the boundary, but it stops, and they will pick up 2 runs, and that is Sasha.
Yourself, you know the importance of mixing up your lengths, your lines, and also your change of pace as well, Liam.
Yeah, I think after a start like this, you want to be straight, and this time it was a bit too short and pulled away into the onside. It's going to run very close to the
Justice to her selection in this first encounter.
Yeah, definitely 3 overs she's bowled so far. Just 12 runs, or 14 runs, sorry, and 2 wickets. She'll be pretty happy with that. And Ramnath is going to come off the attack now. And it looks like it's going to be
6.
Cumberbatch.
It's going to be Cumberbatch.
Johnny Cumberbatch after taking that wonderful catch.
So what a time to come to the bowling crease, Liam.
She'll be very confident.
So immediately we see Najani, she's getting a lot of bounce, and the ball is gripping alarmingly here, Liam. Very tall in stature, Nice high arm action. Cumberbatch continues. And this one is played away down to third man. There's one. They're going to turn for two. And that's all it's going to be.
And you can see Samara Ramnath running across from short fine leg, getting all the way across. And the reason she's fielding in these positions is obviously because she's still recovering from that broken finger. So she's taking herself out of the hot spot. So she's still in a position where, you know, she's able to run and still track down that ball. You know. That's a good delivery from Cumberbatch. Yorker length.
Yorker length on the crease itself. Not much could be done with that delivery. So dot ball in the books. And again, that ball is played out to square leg. Single is off, on offer.
Not a bad start from Cumberbatch. Just 3 runs of the over thus far.
And that's Chopra getting a single there. Taranum.
That's a good delivery again from Cumberbatch. They're off to a really good start here. Just one delivery to go in with a power play. And 25 for 4, I think definitely Marissa Aguilera will be the happier of the two coaches.
Yeah, well, at this stage, you know, her troops has really turned it out here in the power play overs, doing exactly what she wanted, or even exceeded her expectations in this power play, Liam. And we all know, in order to control the scoring, if you keep chipping away at the wickets, you know, it makes it very, very difficult for the opposition. But here, the physio is out.
I think that last delivery from Cumberbatch just hit the wicketkeeper on the helmet. So, you know, just protocol. She seems to be fine. But just, you know, they have to observe the protocols and do that concussion test.
And it is this concussion test is mandatory whenever there's impact on the helmet, whether you're batting, fielding. You know, it is mandatory that you go through that ritual in terms of doing the assessment, being asked the questions, because sometimes these impact could have lasting impact on the player, and it may not be at that point in time when it happens that you see the impact of it. So it's important to go through all the rituals in terms of ensuring that the player is able to continue.
Yeah, well, you know, you're right about that. Sometimes you don't feel the immediate effects, but later down the road, you know, you tend to notice it. And I'll tell you a story. When I was playing under 19 cricket for Trinidad and Tobago, we were up against Guyana. Our good friend, our cameraman, Kyle Ramdu. You know, he never enjoyed the short ball. And
well, I'll have to stop you there, Liam. I think he still doesn't enjoy the short ball.
Well, I say I torn hit him in his helmet, and I feel like even up until today, that still affects him. I think that concussion is lasting still, and it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, these things do have sometimes a lasting impression.
That's a good delivery from Cumberbatch. Pace on, and the cruise is off the power play with a dot at the end of 6, 25 for 4.
So what a wonderful power play.
These things do have sometimes a lasting impression.
That's a good delivery from
Gripping, and also at some stage we also saw where the ball is stopping, so the batters are not being able to really express themselves. But I'm sure if the weather continues and the sun continues, you know, to bake onto this U-Spec pitch, it's going to get better and better and better as the day progresses.
Yeah, definitely. It's a trend that we see here. You know, the other trend that we see here is every time this cricket in the rain comes. So I think that's something that the coaches and the backroom staff are going to be aware of in terms of you know, and I think that also in the air, and I think that also would have affected the decision of the skippers of what they were going to do. And I think that's why Samara Ramnath, knowing the conditions here and knowing that rain is about in Trinidad, it's always good to bowl first when those sort of conditions are around.
Yeah, so Amrita Ramtal continues from the gymnasium end.
It's good to see Ramnath using Ramtal It's 4 overs immediately. This time it's pulled away down to deep backward square. Ramnath is giving chase. He is one of the better fielders and does well.
Using Ramtahal, it's 4 overs immediately. This time it's pulled away down to deep backward square. Ramnath is giving chase. He is one of the better fielders.
If I could be critical of Amrita Ramtahal, it would be the fact that she's a little bit on two sides.
Yeah, she's both sides of the wicket right now. Now this one's outside of stump. It's just a bit too wide or maybe a bit too short because the batters are getting down and they're able to pull the ball away. They have time because the ball is holding up in the pitch. So I think there's value in who just trying to pitch the ball up, see what swing is on offer, and just let them push at the ball.
Exactly. So this one is just short outside the line of the off stump. The batter trying her best there to a short and a played off the back foot from Sasha. It goes out to back foot point.
Still 28 for 4, sorry. Ramsar will close off this over well.
So Bryce doing the fielding.
And that's in the air. Ramnath is out there. And just short. So they're looking to get things going now.
The fielding.
And that's in the air. Ramnath is out there. And just short.
And Amrita Ramtahal 4 overs, 2 for 18. She'll be very happy with those returns.
Well, as a coach, I would take that any day of the week, Liam. You know, excellent returns from Amrita Ramtahal. You know, and really setting the tone for this young West Indies women's team. You know, to keep plugging away at this very powerful USA under-19 team. We do know that they have, you know, players of the highest standard, and take nothing away, the USA cricket on the whole has really been transformed, you know, in the recent past.
It's in the air, over the top, and it's going to run very close to the boundary, but it just plugs a bit of a heavy outfield, and the fielder there at mid-off does the fielding.
So
pick up a couple.
So Aliyah Weeks doing the fielding there. And another one by Sadas. A loose drive outside the line of the off stump. And
so Aliyah Weeks doing the fielding there. And another one by Sadas.
A well-deserved wicket for Cumberbatch. Got a good first over, built some pressure, varied the pace well, and now picks up a wicket, and the wicket off. Just a weak confirmation of that. But as you rightfully said, the 5th wicket down, and the US really in a lot of trouble here. Not what they would have expected in their first game. So the new batter is Aditi Kumar.
so Sasha is a batter who has been dismissed, caught at backward point. So it's Cumberbatch to continue.
Yeah, And the new batter is Aditi Kumar. Kamabach opting to go over the wicket. And you can see once again there is still an offer here at the UE Spec. So I'm pitching just on about 4th stump and going past the wide line. Oh, that's a good delivery again from Cumberbatch. So she's waking up a good spell here.
Yeah, and a lot because of her height, BM, she's extracting a tremendous amount of bounce, which is making it even more uncomfortable for the batters. On that occasion, the batter was just finding the inside edge, and it goes perilously past the stump. This one back and across, and it's played out to cover. And excellent from Cumberbatch, doing a tremendous job for her skipper. Ball on target. Not much the batters can do at this stage. But this one is outside the line of the leg stump. And it's a throw from the skipper Samara Ramnath, and it goes perilously close to the non-striker end. And at the end, they were able to get through for the single. So Aditi getting off the mark. Lovely conditions here at UE Spec. So the West Indies team here is really on the charge here against this very powerful USA team.
He's going to be the vice captain, Tianu Hubert Myers.
Right arm off spinner. So we're seeing a lot of off spinners on show here, Liam. That's the third off spinner being employed by skipper Samara Ramnath, who is also an off spinner himself.
Oh, good start. Good start. Giving it some good air there. That was Hubert Myers.
So DT going for that booming drive, but here we see some proactive captaincy from skipper Samara Ramnath, and immediately getting that slip in position. So Samara Ramnath continues to be very proactive indeed, you know, being attacking as much as she can with her spinners on show.
Oh, that's a beauty. Well.
How did that miss the off stump? That spun from leg stump straight across the left-hander Aditi. She had absolutely no answer to that delivery. Lovely delivery indeed.
Yes, giving it some good air and getting some movement both in the air and off the surface.
Yeah, she seems to be putting a lot of revs. The score 33 for 5, 8.2 overs. Tiana Hubert here into her first over, 3 dot balls so far. And here we see Aditi just playing out onto the front foot, negating whatever spin is on offer from Tiana.
Giving it air once more, but there is protection out there at the sweeper boundary.
So a nice flowing drive from Aditi there, finds the extra cover in Amrita Ramtal, who rifles a return into wicketkeeper Sunderland. So a single on offer.
This has really been impressive captaincy, one from Ramnath, but also just execution from the bowlers. Even the fielders have been on point, taking some brilliant catches. The wicket keeper's gotten a stumping already. Chance of a run. Oh, that's lovely work from the fielder and mid-on.
The fielders have been on point, taking some brilliant catches. The wicket keeper's gotten a stumping already. Chance of a run. Oh, that's lovely work.
And umpire Candice Laborde there was right on spot, Liam, to confirm that she did make her ground.
And umpire board is one of the better umpires that we've seen at local level in Trinidad and Tobago. She's also no nonsense. You know, you can't get away with any sort of foolery around her.
And she has impressed as well. And you know, recently she was doing some international games as well between the English team and the India under-19 team as well.
And so Cumberbatch to continue on a bit of a misfield from the fielder at short mid wicket, but doesn't cost them any run.
Yeah, Zakia Harilal not following the basics of the game there, taking our eyes off the ball at the very last moment. But very good work from Amirtak. And this one is lofted high.
Now Harilal is going to get a chance to make up for it, and she does. And another wicket goes down. Cumberbatch has...
But very good work from Amirtak. And this one is lofted high.
Harila is going to get a chance to make up for it, and she does. And another wicket.
They've now lost their 6th wicket. 9.1 overs down, 35 for 6. And with that, we are going to see the drinks break. So we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more. So Cumberbatch to continue, just picking up his 2nd wicket, and she has really been on spot since coming in to bowl that 5th over. We're into the 10th now, 9.2 down, 35 for 6, and the new batter is Tia Chowdhury.
And this one is struck elegantly to extra cover. There's no run. Brianna Haricharan doing the work at extra cover. Cumberbatch very impressive in her stint thus far, picking up 2 wickets. Oh my god, and there's a loud appeal from the wicketkeeper Sunderland.
Cumberbatch very impressive in her stint thus far, picking up 2 wickets. my God, and there's a loud appeal from the...
Yeah, onto the stump. So
very unlucky indeed for Chaudhary there. So wicket number 7 goes for this USA team. And the West Indies woman is really making it look easy out in the middle here.
yeah, it could be an early day for the woman in maroon.
Well, I don't like to call it this early, Liam, and I'll tell you why. Because I've seen stranger things happen in this game of cricket. But excellent work indeed from skipper Samara Ramnath, really leading her troops out there. And what's really impressive is the manner in which she's marshalling them. She just seems to be consuming everything that she's
cover. Cumberbatch very impressive in her stint thus far, picking up 2 wickets. Oh my God, and there's a loud appeal.
Very much aware and involved in the game.
Cover. Cumberbatch very impressive in her stint thus far, picking up 2 wickets. Oh my God, and there's a loud appeal.
Yeah, it went through the gate there, Liam. She was trying to play a backward defense, but it went between bat and pad. And that was a bail trimmer there, just clipping the bail on the way.
So it just seems to be off the thigh pad, or maybe the front pad. My Madhavan, 16 years of age, from Minnesota. He's played 3 T20s and 5 ODIs. An appeal and going down leg. So Mani Madhavan has played for the US senior team already. Earlier this year, she made her debut against Zimbabwe back in Dar.
And the 5 ODIs. An appeal and going down leg. So
Has some experience at the highest level. And now she's gonna come down to this level and try to dominate. She's a top fast bowler. And I remember seeing her in 2023 in Houston. The USA women had their under-19 trials, and she was really impressive.
Yes, a lot of great talent coming through the USA cricket system. Oh my goodness. And what a peach of a delivery there. That ball was pitched on leg stump and spun right across the batter there. Nothing she could have done except to just try and negotiate it, which she wasn't able to.
Flicked into the leg side, but there is that fielder down there at the backward square. I think Miles so far has bowled 8 deliveries, and I think she's probably bowled about 4 or 5 of those brilliant deliveries almost.
Well, I wouldn't even say I would say rippers. She was actually ripping this ball off the surface here at U-Spec.
Yeah, she's giving it air. She's doing everything right at the moment because she's giving it air. She's getting some movement, and then she's getting movement off the surface. Then worked into the onside. Ramnath gets around quickly and fires in the throw to.
And when you look at Ramnath on the outfield, she's really dynamic. She picks up some throws with one motion, and it just shows what a quality athlete she is, Liam.
I think she has some good examples to follow in the family. You look at her older brother. We'll get back to that after this delivery. It's hit down towards the cover boundary to get 1. You look at Samara Ramnath's older brother,
Rajiv Ramnath.
Yeah, Rajiv, and he would have played all age groups for Trinidad and Tobago, under 15 straight up to under 19, and you would know how good of a fielder he is. He's known to be one of the better fielders in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
so when you have someone like that, you're growing up with, you're training with them. It's only going to make you better, and you can see that Ramnath has a lot of her brother's fielding qualities. Oh, good stop there. I'm going to get through for 1. So
a lovely flowing drive there from Mahi there. An excellent feeling at cover point, just restricting the scoring to a single, diving away to her right and affecting that stop.
So 39 for 7 now. 1 delivery to go in the 11th over.
it brings the left-handed Aditi on strike.
And she
And this
have
one is
some
played out
problems.
to short, fine leg.
An uncharacteristic misfield there from Ramnath. I think she picked up her head a bit too early there and wasn't able to pick up the ball cleanly. So at the end of 11, it's 40 for 7. Myers completing her second over for just 2 overs for 7. On the other end, Johnny Cumberbatch 3 for 7 in 3 overs with a meeting as well. What an excellent start she's had.
Very impressive indeed from all the spinners on show this morning, led by the skipper herself, Samara Ramnath, really putting the skids on this USA batting lineup. But take nothing away from Amrita Ramtal, she's been brilliant as well. And when you have an opening bowler who could, prize out early wickets, it does put a lot of pressure on the batting team.
Now we're going to see the left-hand spinner Brianna Plummer take over from the pavilion end. First sign of left-hand spin for the day. Oh, and that one I think she was beaten for pace there. And Ramnath quickly gets the ball down to the bowler and they get through for a bye.
So we could see that ball there, Liam. When she released it, there's a lot of drift in the air, and it just beat the outside edge of the batter there. Was Aditi beaten all ends up, but it also beat the keeper as well, and they were able to come through for a bye. So excellent start indeed from Brianna Plummer, left arm orthodox, and this one.
Very, very good delivery. I think the length is important there. And you could see that Samara Ramnath is on the attack. There's a slip in play. We're into the 13th over now, the 12th over. There's a slip in play and there's only one fielder outside the circle. So they're encouraging Mari Madhavan to try to go over the top, and with that will come chances. But when that chance comes, they have to take it.
Yeah, well, again, it's really prudent captaincy from skipper Samara Ramnath, asking the batters to go over the top. She does know that the wicket is too paced, so once you don't get that connection that you want, the possibility of you holding on to maybe mid on or long off is highly possible.
A bit too short this time. But
but
brilliant bit of fielding. That looks like Weeks, Aliyah Weeks.
Aliyah Weeks doing some fantastic job at extra cover. They're diving away to her right, ensuring that there's no rotation of the strike.
Just trying to build some pressure, but I think the one issue I'm having with Brianna Plummer here, she's a bit too much down the leg side. She can get that ball outside the off stump, drifting back into off stump. I think that's where she wants to be. At the moment, she's just a bit too straight. And luckily for her, Samara Ramnath got that ball hit straight to her. But anything to her left and right could be runs. But that's much better from Plummer.
Yeah, Plummer, nicely flighted delivery. Very tempting indeed, just above the eye line there. Asking her to come, and play that expansive drive, but just allowing the ball to come to her, playing it under her eyes and stroking it out to extra cover. So no run. And a lovely delivery again, just on middle and leg. Not much the batter could do on this occasion. But at the end of over number 12, the score, Cricket USA under 19, 42 for the loss of 7 wickets. So the West Indies team, led by the inspirational skipper Samara Ramnath, is very much on top here, Liam.
Yeah, you have to see Sue. Looks like it's going to be Myers to continue 2 overs for 7. She has been excellent so far. That I think from a USA perspective, you're batting 40-something for 7 after 12 overs. The main thing you want to do is bat all 20 overs. Runs are going to come if you just, keep the West Indies out there longer and hope they make mistakes. They're going to try to, after a while, they're going to try to get the wickets. They don't want to be out there for 8 more overs. They want to get this done quickly.
And that's why it's important that you don't go searching every delivery as well. Yeah, you gotta know when to attack, and you gotta know when to just try and stem the flow of the runs.
So well left there from Madi Madhavan. She's now faced 11 or 10 deliveries, and just 2 runs. But it's not bad based on the situation of the game. They need someone to just stop the flow of wickets. Lovely shot. That hit too hard, straight to mid-off.
So nice flowing off drive there from Mai.
She looks apart so far. I think she's shown some solid defense. She's shown some good drives.
Well, I'm sure the think tank of this Cricket USA team would be echoing the sentiments of all the remaining batters. Once you stay out there, we should be able to post a score that they believe that they'll be able to defend with the amount of spin that's on offer.
In the air, and this time from Madhavana wasn't hit as hard, and she was able to get through for the quick single. Good running between the wickets as well. She took off as soon as she hit that one.
So it's going to be Aditi to take strike. And lovely delivery again. Going past the outside edge there. And how many times we've seen this from her. So at the end of over number 13, USA under 19, 44 for 7, Liam. What's your thought at this stage? What do you think, based on what we've seen thus far with the conditions, the amount of spin that the spinners are able to extract from the surface, what do you think is going to be a competitive or pass score?
Well, with 7 overs to go, I think it is going to be hard, but if they could get to anywhere close to 100, I think that would be very, very competitive. But I think even if you could get to 80 at this point, and you give yourself a fighting chance because of the conditions.
Well, to get to 80, they will have to they'll have to score between 5 to 6 runs and over, Liam, which at this stage, really, we're not seeing where that scoring is going to come from, but we just never know. One of these players could play, a really good cameo at this stage of the innings.
Another moment, Madhavan is happy to just defend the good balls, wait on the bad balls, but I think if they continue batting like this, if they get to 60 or 70, that's not going to be enough, I don't think.
Well, I'm sure
the
whatever
wicket is
score,
just going to get better throughout the day as well.
well, I'm sure whatever score they get, they're going to back themselves to defend it, because I'm sure they would have some excellent spinners in their ranks as well, yeah. So Madhavini there just chipping that ball over the bowler's head, a single on offer, but it brings Aditi Kumar on strike. She's on 6 from 16. Madhava 4 from 16, playing a very defensive role indeed.
Sam cut beats the field at point.
There's one, they're gonna, oh no, it's some excellent fielding there, and a powerful throw indeed back into Sunderland, restricting the scoring to 2 runs. But I thought on this occasion, Liam, they should have capitalized and gotten 2 runs.
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of credit has to go to Bryce there. She got to the ball quickly after it beat at point and fired in the return. But I think just a bit of nerves from the US batters, knowing that they can't afford to lose another wicket at this stage. So they're trying to be risk-free this time. A bit of a misfield from the field at cover, but
some excellent work there.
Looks like Brianna Harichan at mid-off.
Yeah, moving in very swiftly indeed. And I tell you what, Samara Ramnath, with her prudent captaincy, they have been able to really strangle this USA batting lineup. And this one, flashes past full slip. They go for one, they're going to turn for the second. And the return is going to come to wicketkeeper Sunderland to 2 to the score. It takes it to 48 for 7 after over number 14. But at this stage, Julia, sure that Cricket USA under 19 team, they will have, I'm sure, to come, one of those batters to come would be someone who could possibly take on, the 5th or 6th bowling option that will be in play at some stage.
Yeah, just running through the West Indies under 19 women's 11 here. Samara Ramnath, Iboni Brathwaite, Tiani Hubert Myers, Najani Cumberbatch, Brianna Plummer, Abigail Bryce, Aliyah Weeks, Brianna Haricharan, Sakaya Harilal, Amrita Ramtahal, and the wicketkeeper Keela George. And the 5 players left out of today's proceedings: Jada Tyrell, she's the 12th, Kristen Sutherland, Adania Bohr, Danelli Mans, and Sabriel Headley are the players out. And the US 11.
So Brianna Plummer, 2 wickets for 5 runs, very impressive indeed. But it's going to be Madhavan and Aditi Kumar who will try and bring some respectability to the score. Cricket USA under 19 under the pump at this stage, may I say, Liam. But it has been some clever captaincy and some fantastic feeling, from this from the young chargers.
So it looks like it's going to be Tiani Hubert Myers to continue. 3 overs for 9. Can't have so much more than that. Good delivery once more.
And just imagine she's bowling wide from the crease, and yet still pitching on leg stump and going across to the left-hander Aditi. So the ball is doing quite a bit here at the UWI Spec ground. Haven't spoken to the groundsman this morning.
Oh, lovely, lovely again. An appeal to the square leg umpire, not out.
Yeah, Mr. Ramat was saying to me, he said, Anil, the surface is very dry indeed. It looks like, there's some preparation moisture, but once the sun comes out, that's going to disappear very quickly indeed. And we are seeing evidence of that abrasiveness from the surface, which is really proving to be very challenging indeed for this USA batters.
Here's Myers again, and they really have found it difficult to score off her.
Well, one of the great attributes of a team that's playing well, Liam, your bowlers can be bowling well, but if they are not supported by their fielders, it really it make them look ragged. But we're seeing some fantastic feeling from this West Indies team. My goodness, this one just spins away from the outside edge. Nothing Aditi could do about it, except to just hope that it doesn't break the edge and goes into the keeper glove or at first slip. So
yeah, Aditi's had a hard time against. Oh, that's a beauty. Oh, just wrong footing. The slip fielder. They get through for a single.
But that ball, Liam, was perilously close to the leg stump as well.
Yeah, it shows you the amount of turn she's getting as well.
So it's got to be Madhavan to take strike.
Aditi 7 of 22, Madhavan 6 of 18. And they've stopped the flow of wickets, but they need to find a way to score going into these final 5 overs. At the end of 15, it's 49 for 7.
But at this stage, Liam, I'm sure the coaches and the think tank of the USA team may just be sending a message out there to possibly continue, pick up maybe 2-3 runs and over, and come into the 17th over, try and get into over gear. And if they're able to get to anyway close to 80, I think that's going to be very competitive indeed. The conditions are spinner friendly, but at the end of the day, you've still got to go out there and do the business.
Yeah, 100%.
And
so it looks like it's going to be a change in bowling from, in fact, no, it's going to be Plummer to continue.
So Brianna Plummer, left arm orthodox, very impressive indeed. 2 overs for 5, continues.
And because of the amount of dot balls, the West Indies are able to get through their overs quite quickly. This one is cut down to 3rd, but they get through for a single.
So Aditi just allowing this ball to come to her, and at the last moment, playing a deft touch down to 3rd man. She gets a single. The 50 comes up for the USA under 19 team, 50 for 7, and we are in over number 16. So it's going to be Brianna Plummer, continues from the UWI Spec end, or Pavilion end, as we call it here. Lovely flighted delivery. This ball is on driven to Amrita. Moves smartly to her right.
But they get through for the single, which is very important.
And again, we see Liam, only because that delivery was very close to her, Madhavan, that she was able to play that on drive. So, lovely flighted delivery again from Brianna Plummer, asking Aditya to possibly go over the top, but not getting the connection. The ball just dribbles out to cover. There's no run. And a lovely arm ball there, arcing back into the pads of Aditi, and there's no run. So the score remains on a 51 for 7. Brianna Plummer, none for 7 thus far. And this ball is turning into Aditi. No run. At this stage, Liam, would you be a little more ambitious, maybe by getting a forward short leg with the ball spinning as much as it is into the left-hander? We've seen a lot of ball pop into that short mid-wicket region, and I'm just thinking to myself, the ball continues to stop, it could create an opportunity.
Ooh,
a lovely throw there from Amrita. And how close was that to hitting the sticks there?
Direct hit might have been interesting, but that brings to the end the 16th over, 52 for 7, just 3 runs of the over. So Plummer going about her work well here. 3 overs, none for 8. Myers, 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 9. Cumberbatch, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 7. Ramnath, 2 overs, 2 for 7. And in that, she bowled a 5 wide. So a lot of dot balls in and around that spell. And Amrita Ramtahal, the fast bowler, at the top of the innings, 4 overs, 2 for 18. So
were you surprised, Liam, that skipper Samara Ramnath took the opportunity to bowl out the likes of Amrita Ramtahal?
I won't say I'm surprised, but I'm glad she did it as well, because I think when you have the hot hand, you have to feed it. And Ramtahal was picking up wickets early, and she was bowling well. So you get that out of the way. You bowl her 4 overs, see how much she can give you in that 4 overs, and you've got the ability and you've got the arsenal to come back into the back end now. And with the way that the wicket has played, the turn is gonna play a big part. And with that little bit of moisture that was up early, you got Ramtahal to take full advantage of that in her 4 overs. Well flighted as Ramnath comes back into the attack.
Ramnath, her prior bowling figures earlier on would have been 2 overs, 2 wickets for 7 runs. Very impressive returns indeed. Having not played cricket for approximately a month and more, suffering a broken finger, and to see her come back in the way she did, it's really, really refreshing indeed. And a lovely delivery there. Aditya just allowing that ball to come on to her, but it didn't have the pace for her to beat the backward point, and there's no run and offer. Third man, backward point. Well,
bowled that one a bit quicker, and an appeal from the wicketkeeper Kayla George.
Yeah, just possibly indicating there, maybe it possibly had touched the pad before making contact with the pad, but umpire Candice Laborde is having none of it.
So here is Ramnath again, round the wicket. So I'm a bit slower, and the cover fielder Plummer doing well there. Just to take the sting off of it, and now Ramnath deciding to send Ramtahal back a bit.
Well, I'm sure she's telegraphing at this stage here, Liam. They are going to look for a boundary option. But she continues to be very miserly indeed. Skipper Samara Ramnath arcing that ball into the pads, taking away the levers there, Liam. So all Aditya could have do is just try and see if she could bisect the fielder there between mid-wicket and mid-on, but unable to do so. And lovely flighted delivery there from skipper Samara Ramnath.
Yeah, finishes off a maiden over. So her third over, no runs off it at the end of 17 is 52 for 7. You look at the bowling card and you look at who has overs left. 3 overs to go. Ramnath has 1. And you've got to expect Ramnath to bowl 1. You've got Plummer who's got 1 and Cumberbatch. And I think that is what's going to complete your 20 overs.
Yeah, so I'm sure we're not going to see another seamer on show here today because the spinners are doing the business at this stage. There's absolutely no need to do anything different.
Yes,
So
it's going to be Plummer to clean up our spell here. 3 overs, none for 8 with a maiden as well. And pulled into the onside. What a good bit of fielding from Zakaya Harilal.
Yeah, that one was really creamed, but making some quick movement to her right there was Zakia Harilal and ensuring that there's no rotation of the strike. And you know, Zakia Harilal, Liam, coming into the Trinidad side at the back end of the tournament, and what an impact she did have from opening the bowling, and also was given the opportunity to open the batting, which she did do justice. And here we're seeing being rewarded, you know, in playing in this series here. So Brianna doing some good work, that extra cover. Nice flowing extra cover drive, more a push than really an expansive drive. But the score remains on 52 for 7. Plummer continues.
Giving this one some air. Smart from Plummer. Hit straight to mid-off. Direct hit. Would have been interesting, but good running between the wickets from Mai Madhavan and Aditi. So they've struggled to score runs because of how tight the West Indian bowlers have been. But Madhavan 8 of 24 now. And Aditi Kumar 9 of 33.
So it's going to be Plummer to continue.
In the air. And just to the left of Brianna. Hari Charan just couldn't get her hands to it.
Yeah, that ball was always going away from her left hand. She made a valiant attempt, but at the last moment it just eluded her. So a single on offer, it takes the score to 54 for 7. And it's just one delivery away from over number 18.
In the air, but straight. And directed. Oh my! The West Indian fielders have been excellent all day with the fielding, but they've just not been able to hit the stump.
But had that hit, she would have been a goner there.
Yeah,
but Aditya had no choice, Liam, there to try and eke out every single run on offer, even if it means to say at this stage taking a risk. 2 overs to go, Liam. They really need to try and change gears. Even if they lose a wicket in the piece here now, they need to at least try and, you know, get 2 overs, maybe in the vicinity of maybe 8 to 10. If they're able to do that, then a score of 75 may well be on the cards. But at this stage, it doesn't look that way. But let's see if this USA batting team does have a sting in the tail, you know, at the back end.
So Plummer completes a brilliant spell. 4 overs, none for 11. Now Ramnath now is going to come in and finish off his spell. We've also got Cumberbatch to bowl the final over.
Yeah, Ramnath 3 overs, 2 wickets for 7 runs.
So I hit down to mid-off for a single. And once again, missing the direct hit, but brilliant work from Brianna Plummer backing up. And as you can see, Samara Ramnath appreciates that.
Yeah, Plummer there doing some fantastic work, following the ball from the offside and ensuring that her line of defense was very well indeed, you know, in line with the ball. Oh my goodness.
Beauty. That is a beauty. And Ramnath was almost off in celebration.
Well, she thought she possibly may have had the off bill off.
Well, we're going to have another concussion test here. The ball just with that extra bounce hitting the helmet of Kayla George. So we hope all is okay with her.
So this game has really started with some incidents, I must admit. Liam, do you think that it's a possibility that the wicket keepers, not really accustomed with the ball bouncing that alarmingly, and maybe, just maybe, is challenging them to the point where they haven't really been able to gather? Because
Yeah, I
it
think
has
so.
been bounce and turn as well, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. It's not similar conditions to them, I guess. But it could just be a situation where the keepers probably get it up a bit too late, and not keeping eyes on the ball to the very last second. But
Or maybe just possibly in this situation, her position where the stumps are is possibly a bit too close, so she's unable, right? She's unable to adjust to the bounce of the ball to accommodate her hands in order to glove it. I mean, sometimes things are done in a conventional way, but you also have to take on board, if conditions change, you've got to make some subtle changes as well, whether you're feeling in the outfield or wicket keeping, or maybe a slip. Sometimes the ball are not carrying, so you've got to take a step forward, as the case may be. So I think maybe subtle adjustments here, Liam, could possibly see a difference in terms of the wicket keepers becoming a bit more proficient at catching the ball.
yeah, it shows that it becomes more and more important each time for you to be able to read the game and understand conditions, and also to be adaptable.
Well, I think one word that comes to mind, Liam, would be assessment. Okay, doing continuous assessment where that is concerned. So I mean, these young ladies, we're sure that they're going to learn and grow as they go along. But let's take nothing away. After under 19 is a stepping stone into first class cricket. So it is now where you could either make or break, from this stage. It's going to be Samara Ramnath.
So all seems to be well with Kayla George.
But it's ironic, Liam, I have to tell you this. Normally the bowlers will be licking down their batter's helmet, but here we see today the bowlers are hitting off the helmets of the wicket keepers. How ironic indeed.
Using her feet, and Ramnath strikes. Ramnath picks up her third wicket, and the US slip into further trouble. But I don't mind that from Aditi, because she needed to try to get something going. And a good bit of work from Kayla George behind the stumps, missing it on the first attempt, and was able to knock the Beatles off on the second. So Ramnath picks up her third. First game back in a while, and she is right on spot. She hasn't put her foot wrong.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's what good players do. They're able to come back into the team, and it seems like they have not really missed anything, from their time off away from the game. But maybe what the USA batters could have done in this situation, Liam, is change their guard from middle to off stump and try and get as close as possible to those deliveries that are turning alarmingly across the left-handers. Try and do something different to possibly, put off the bowlers. One shot that comes to mind, that reverse sweep with the ball spinning away for the left-hander, the switch it. All these innovations, when conditions are such, you need to bring out these innovations in order to survive. Because, I mean, these bowlers here, Samara and company, they are running these USA batters ragged at this time. It seems like they have never batted spin in their whole career. But take nothing away, the surface is very conducive, but the bowling has been on point.
Yeah, well, I think, it's day one of a 5-match series, and I think they're going to learn from this. They're going to learn and adjust from, what they've seen in this first game as a bit of an overthrow here, and they pick up a second.
Yeah, but
Maddie's off the mark with 2.
yeah, but very poor indeed from the thrower there. There was only going to be one. There was absolutely.
No, here's Ramnath again. Oh, that's a good delivery. Almost just passing close to that off stump, and they'll get through for a bye.
Well, I
A
tell
bit
you
of a
what,
faster
Liam,
ball from Ramnath there.
it is the arm ball that rushes onto you, but that's possibly a quarter paint away from that off stump. So over 90, no, we're still into over number 19, 59 for 8.
Yeah, one delivery to go.
So very challenging this pitch for the wicket keepers. We'll see how their US counterpart goes about it.
So final delivery of Samar Ramnath spell coming up 3 wickets for 10 runs. That's high in the air. That's a good looking shot from Mahi Madhavan, but it just plugs into the heavy outfield there. They pick up 2 runs to finish off the 19th over. Madhavan moves on to 12 at the end of 19 at 61 for 8.
Yeah, and it's great to see that Madhavan is showing some intent. That was a lovely sweep shot. Well, actually, it's a slug sweep from outside the line of the off stump. Had the outfield been a bit firmer, I'm sure she would have benefited from getting a boundary. But the outfield here at U-Spec is still a bit on the soft side, unfortunately. And when the ball is hit into the air, it just more or less is sticking into the surface, you know. But
So it's going to be Cumberbatch to bowl the final over. And Anil, she's been excellent as well. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 7.
yeah, Nijani Cumberbatch has been very, very impressive indeed. 3 overs, 7 runs, and taking 3 wickets in the piece here.
Yeah, she's been brilliant. And now into our final over. She's got a chance to get 5. This one hits straight to Ramtahal. And they get through for a single. And I think Ramtahal saw that, there's only one in this, so she threw it into the surface just to take the sting off of it, to make sure that Cumberbatch was able to get through. So Ramnath starting to be a bit defensive here in the last over, so it's good captaincy once more.
Yeah, at this stage, Samara Ramnath just trying to protect the boundaries, because we know in the final over they're going to try and go hell for leather.
Hit straight to cover. The Harry Charan allows him to get 1.
But singles at this stage, Liam, it's not going to hurt the West Indies women's team here at all. So
I think if there's one thing that they'll be disappointed in, is that they didn't get them all out earlier when it was 40 or 35 for 7. I think that was a time where, Samara Ramnath should have, I think she tried, it just didn't work out, but they would regret that to a certain extent. Oh, a direct hit there, and they get through for another single. A direct hit once more, and the non-striker Mai Madhavan would have been gone, but no one backing up. They get through for another run.
yeah, Brianna Haricharan there tried to get her wrong, but wasn't able to in time, and another single on offer. But these runs here could come back to haunt the West Indies team here, Liam. These extra overthrows. With a game as tight as it is, and scoring is at a premium on a difficult track, take nothing away. The track is very challenging indeed.
Oh, good delivery. Good delivery from Cumberbatch.
So the score remains on 64 for 8.
Yeah, there's 2 deliveries to go.
So it's Madhavan here trying to get a boundary option here. Really going hard at the deliveries now, and at this stage she doesn't have a choice, Liam.
In the air, mid-wicket fielder comes in, diving forward, and a fantastic effort from the fielder down there at the mid-wicket. Just couldn't get her hands underneath it, and a really good effort to get 2 runs.
So a valuable 2 runs for the USA team. Just 1 delivery to go in this contest, in this innings.
And that's high in the air. Another chance for a catch. This time she takes it, and Now Johnny Cumberbatch picks up her 4th wicket, 4 for 12 in her 4 overs. The US end their innings at 66 for 9.
Yeah, so some excellent work starting from the power play overs. Both skipper Samara Ramnath and Amrita Ramtahal were able to pry out 4 wickets, Liam. And once, as a batting team, once you lose, you know, that wickets in clusters, what's going to happen? It puts you on the back foot from that moment. It's very difficult. It's very difficult in most situations to come out from those situations when you lose 4 wickets in the batting power play. But at the end of the day, take nothing away from Samara Ramnath and her charges. They've been fantastic. Her bowling changes has been on point. She's been very well supported by her fielders. They continue to dive around, make some critical stops, but more importantly, taking some really good catches as well. And at the end of the day, a very good all-round performance. But at the midway stage of this game, USA under 19, 66 for 9, Liam. My question to you, is this enough to defend?
No, I don't think it's going to be enough because I think the wicket is just going to get better as the sun is out. So at 66 for 9, I think the West Indies under 19 women would go into the second half very confident. So we will be right back with the second innings.
At this stage, you being the coach of the West Indies team, would you ask the heavy roller to go on the surface, Liam? Your thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe the light roller and a sweep, and I think you're pretty much good. The heavy roller is going to bring up wherever moisture there is, so you don't want that to become a factor into your second innings. The wicket is just going to get better. So at the halfway stage, 66 for 9 the USA get. When we come back, the West Indies women will need 67 for victory. So we're back here at the UE Spec ground, and the West Indies under 19 women are out in the middle now. They require 67 runs for victory. And the opening bowler for the US from the pavilion end, it seems to be Mari Madhavan. And she had a decent little innings to finish the innings, and I welcome with me Mr. Anil Lakan, the opening batters for the West Indies. First ball comes up. There's Amrita Ramtahal and Brianna Haricharan, two local girls here from Trinidad and Tobago, and they would be taking up the first strike for the West Indies.
Yeah, Amrita Ramtahal had a splendid bowling effort at the crease there, Liam. And, you know, at this stage, you know, you want to set the tone for the rest of this tournament. So it's important for her and Brianna Haricharan and the rest of the West Indies team to really set the platform here by getting off to a good start.
It's a lovely delivery from Mari Madhavan, but unfortunately she has overstepped. So the dream start for the West Indies here. They're going to get a free hit.
And what a way, you know, as a batter, to be able to express yourself without, you know, the risk of being dismissed. So it's going to be Madhavan. And Ramtahal.
Oh, well, she was almost run out, and that is the one way you can get out on a free hit.
Exactly, but I must admit that the communication from Rihanna Haricharan should have been a definite no from the word go, because that ball was travelling to the fielder at backward square.
I like the look of Madhavan so far. That's a beauty. She's running in very hard, and she's hitting the pitch hard, getting the ball to fly into the keeper's gloves. She's bowling at a good pace, good rhythm, and yeah, good looking start for Mari Madhavan.
Yeah, if anything there from Amrita Ramtahal, she doesn't seem to be stable at the crease there, Liam. Everything is moving at one time. She just needs to stabilize her footwork, you know, and play as late as possible. But that ball cut her in half.
Full toss this time and another no ball. So she's going to get another free hit. And I think this time she's got to learn from her mistake. She's got to try to put this one away.
So Amrita Ramtahal, you know, getting some early Christmas gifts here from Madhavan. Two free hits available for her. She needs to capitalize on this, the second no ball. Free hit on offer.
Oh,
and she's
bowled,
bowled
but
neck and crop there, but it's not going to count because it's a free hit.
Yeah, the US supporters here were not aware of that being a free hit, and they were celebrating when they realized now that Amrita Ramtahal is going to continue batting. She is yet to get off the mark. Still 2 deliveries to go in this first over. And Mari Madhavan is looking really good so far. And no real foot movement there from Ramtahal, but another no ball.
So Madhavan is really struggling here at the UE Spec. Do you think it's a case where her footing, Liam, could possibly one of the reasons why she's overstepping? Maybe just running a bit too quick and hitting the crease may be resulting in overstepping.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of the problems that fast bowlers have with their front foot is because when they take off from their jump, is when they take off a bit too close to the crease. So maybe she just needs to take off a bit earlier, like right around there. That's a good shot. It's hit hard, and the fielder there at cover got a hand hit. They're going to try to go for 2, but Haricharan gets back in. So the first round off the bat for Amrita Ramtahal.
Yeah, creaming that one through extra cover, but some excellent feeling at extra cover on that 25-yard circle, you know, restricting the scoring to just a single. But it's good to see that, you know, she's got that intent, Liam. I mean, this is the third opportunity she's had, and really and truly, if you get 3 opportunities, you want to at least cash in, you know, at every time. But it's going to bring Brianna Harry-Turan. Brianna Harry-Turan had the opportunity to captain the Rising Star Trinidad and Tobago on the 19 girls.
She is for first delivery and looks good. Driving straight to point, no run. At the end of the first is 4 without loss.
Yeah, so excellent start indeed, but they were helped by Madhavan delivering 3 no balls in that opening over. As we both know, Liam, as these young ladies from America get more and more acclimatized to the conditions, you know, they are going to become more and more competitive. I'm not saying that they are out of this contest, but they are going to keep improving. And here we see this young lady just going past us, the young lady in the middle, Mahek. I had the opportunity of doing some work in New Jersey with her. She's not yet 15, but such is the talent that Cricket USA and coaches like Chelsea Douglas, who are coaching in the pathway in America, you know, has made some huge recommendations for this young lady.
Good looking shot from Ramtahal again, the new bowler for the USA.
So Mahek, you know, her mother is here in Trinidad. She came to the booth earlier on, and you know, very nice of her to travel to Trinidad and enjoy the ambience of the cricket and the hospitality of the people.
Oh, just reaching for that one, a wide ball signaled. And Aditi Kumar is the new bowler.
So we've seen what Aditi Kumar could do with the bat, Liam. And now she's showing that she's a very skillful bowler indeed, bowling left arm seam.
So the West Indies will know that there's no real rush, but they'll want to get themselves a good start without losing wickets, you know, just to release whatever sort of pressure there is. This time it's a wide ball signaled once again from umpire aboard.
So Amrita Ramta just seems to be struggling with her footwork here, Liam. She's, you know, seems a bit unsure at this moment, but I'm sure as she continues to bat and feel a couple of the middle, she's going to get more and more confident. And we'll all agree that at the start of any tournament, there is butterflies, you know, amongst every player. And you would have had that, you know, you would have felt that same way when making your debut for Trinidad and Tobago as well, Liam.
Yeah, I remember it being, you know, you sort of just want to get the first ball out of the way. And, you know, once it's a good ball, you're good to go.
And I'm sure you would have possibly not slept that night before making your debut, you know, thinking about all the things that could possibly happen on your debut.
It's definitely just like as you explained. Now, here is Aditi again. No foot movement once more, and they get into a tangle, and all of a sudden a miscommunication in the middle of the wicket. Brianna Harichan has to go, and she goes for 1. In fact, she goes without scoring. Let's have a look at this again. Straight to the field that point, and it was never really a single on the cards there.
Yeah, so a big miscommunication between Brianna Harichan and Amrita Ramtahal, resulting in the West Indies losing their first wicket. Brianna Harichan going by the run-out route, and it's not a dismissal, Liam, that you want to give the opposition, you know, a run-out. You know, you want them to work for their wickets, and when they are gifted, the only thing that happens is lifts the entire team when there is a dismissal. And you know, it's really a gifted wicket when a team allows, you know, a run-out situation, Liam.
Yes, it's the least favoured way to go, and especially Harry Tran not really getting the opportunity, just facing one ball, and had to go.
So very unfortunate indeed for Brianna Haritran, but out comes
Cumberbatch,
a Cumberbatch,
after a brilliant spell, 4
Nigel
for 10,
Cumberbatch.
and they're gonna pull this one into the onside. There's a deep mid wicket and a third.
But there is some,
Deep third.
but there is some swing on offer from Aditi Kumar. She's getting that ball to come back into the right-hander, away from the left-hander. So that the ball that leaves the left-hander just seems to be a stock delivery, which is a very handy delivery when it comes to the right-hand batters.
Off the back foot punches and a misfield from the fielder at mid-off, and it runs into the boundary for 4. So the first boundary for the West Indies. Cumberbatch off the mark with a 4, and a lot of power off the back foot there.
Yeah, short, and Cumberbatch rocks onto the back foot and hit it like a rocket down to mid-off. At one time, Liam, you thought that the fielder would be able to try and defend the ball, but it was hit with tremendous power indeed. It just eluded her, unfortunately for the fielder, but the West Indies move up by 4.
Off the back foot again, works it into the onside. They look for 2 here, and Cumberbatch says no. Good call. But Raptahal was just waiting for her to respond.
So excellent running again. So Cumberbatch has, immediately starts, to show that level of intent, Liam. And when you have players who show that level of intent, what happens? The fielders now sort of in the power play, right? They tend to stay hover just around the edge of that 25-yard circle, and hence it opens up the opportunity to drop and run.
So the end of the second over now, 11 for 1. Cumberbatch, she is on 5. Ramtal struggling a bit on 1 of 11.
Yeah, Ramtahal at this stage just struggling a bit, but I'm sure with the energy that Cumberbatch has gone out with, is going to instill a lot of confidence in their partnership.
Yeah, so Madhavan to continue. 4 runs of her first over, 3 of those being no balls, but she beat the bat on a couple of occasions, so she's looking pretty good, especially to the left-hander. She's getting that ball to just move away from the left-hander a bit. If she can get a couple, just jacking back into the stumps of Cumberbatch and possibly get an early wicket or 2 more in the power play, she could really set the West Indies back onto the back foot.
I'd love to see her go around the wicket to the left-hander though.
Oh, that's a lovely shot from Cumberbatch, but straight to the field at cover. A really good looking cover drive there.
Yeah, nice flowing cover drive, just length on that delivery. It was racing into that extra cover region, but some very good fielding indeed. And just as we alluded to, Liam, we see that all the fielders are staying on the edge of that 25-meter circle.
This time is up and over, beats the fielder at mid-off, but because of that heavy outfield, as we mentioned, the ball just plugs, and I think she's been run out here, and Amrita Ramtahal has been run out against the run of play, what looked to be a short 2 runs. She just couldn't get back in time, and she has to go for 1.
So a needless wicket goes down again, Liam, the second run out of the innings. Had she, wasn't confident of getting back, she could have communicated that with Cumberbatch and said, listen, I wouldn't be able to get back there. But unfortunately, the West Indies team losing their second wicket via the run-out route. So, the West Indies ladies are basically gifting this USA team. They have gifted two wickets to the USA team.
So the new batter. Ebony Brathwaite is the new batter.
So it's going to be Ebony Brathwaite. But Kamabachi is going to continue proceedings. Lovely flowing back foot drive. Doesn't beat the bowler. No run. The score remains on 12 for 2. And the conditions have really, improved here at U-Spec, Liam. The facility now is bathing in sunshine.
Yeah, I don't think any of the wickets so far have been a cause of the pitch itself. It's been running between the wickets on both occasions.
But I'm sure the Mercer, the coach.
Well, that's a big hit. Straight back over the bowler's head and all the way for 6. And that is what you're going to get from Cumberbatch. She's aggressive and she's looking to get the ball to the boundary as soon as possible just to take that pressure off, because it's only 67 runs at the end of the day that they're defending.
And I'll tell you what, Liam, sometimes chasing small scores, you could get yourself in a bubble where you're not sure how to approach it. But Cumberbatch has taken the long handle route, and anything that's close to her and within her arc, she is prepared to allow herself to express.
And she's raced on to 12 of just 7, and already 2 boundaries and that of 4 and a 6. So the long one has now gone back, and this time pushed into the offside. Lovely shot, and they get through for a single. Good running between the wickets as well. So Cumberbatch showing that she can hit the ball a long way, but if the ball is not there, she's happy to just knock the ball into the gap and try to get a single.
Yeah, so intelligent batting indeed from Cumberbatch. They're showing a lot of maturity in terms of how she approaches her innings. Once it's there, she is going to go, but she's also adamant that singles are an integral part of her scoring as well. So it's going to be Ebony Brathwaite to take strike.
It's going to be a wide.
So Malavan not having the best of times here in this first encounter against the West Indies under-19 ladies, having delivered 3 no-balls in her first over and now been thumped over a long on for a mighty 6 from Cumberbatch. 20 for 2 is the score. We are into over number 3. And a lovely flowing drive there.
And they're going to get a single on the over through here. The US just getting a bit overexcited there and throwing the ball away, allowing the West Indies to get another single. So the end of 3, 20 for 2. And
we did see that with the West Indies team as well, Liam, where they had some infractions on the field where a couple overthrows were allowed, but it's all part and parcel of the game. And at this stage of their development, it's a learning curve as well. So they would take whatever positive out of the situation.
What's important is that they learn from it, and it doesn't become a repetitive mistake.
Well, I tell you what, I know the coaches, they will be taking their notes as well, and when they have their team meetings, these things are going to be highlighted, because you just never know coming down to the back end of these games. Those 1 and 2 runs, it could play an integral part in the final result of any encounter. So it's an area that they will want to tighten up, definitely.
Aditi Kumar to continue, getting that ball to angle back in, and Brathwaite off the back foot.
And we could see that the pitch has improved by leaps and bounds as well. The ball is now coming on to the bat a lot better. You see the likes of Cumberbatch, who loves to play on the up. She's able to move back and across and play very comfortably indeed.
What's a brilliant delivery. Just coming off the inside edge of the bat. Let's have a look at it again.
But what is also helping the likes of Kumar Aditi Kumar, is the breeze has picked up here at UE, and she's allowing that ball, she's releasing that ball from that 12 o'clock position and allowing it every opportunity to swing through the air. And
So we're just a bit on the outer half of the bat.
but again, excellent areas from this young Seema Aditi Kumar.
Yeah, and I think Ramtahal earlier would have bowled 4 overs, 2 for 18, but I think she was guilty of being a bit too short at times. And I think this is a length that she should have been bowling, or maybe even a bit fuller, because of that moisture that was on play earlier. High in the air, and it's going to go over the heads of the mid-wicket fielders. Clugs, once again, there's been heavy rain in Trinidad and Tobago for a while now, so no fault of the ground staff that the outfield is so heavy at the moment.
But we are very thankful, Liam, that, for the most part in the last couple of weeks, it's been, all these grounds has been drenched with torrential rainfall. And to turn up at UE for us to have a full complement of 20 overs, you've got to give the ground staff and the management of this UE Spec team, a lot of kudos.
Wide delivery outside the off stump, too wide. Signaled by umpire aboard.
So umpire Candice Laborde, featuring in that huge series between India and England women recently in England. And it just shows the opportunities, in all areas of women's cricket that's been afforded now to people, to individuals who really want to put their foot forward.
Bottom edge and just for Street to slip.
So Brathwaite there just trying to run that ball along to third man, getting a fine edge, but some excellent work by the slip fielder.
Ooh, just beating the outside edge again.
A loose drive from Ebony there. Goes past the outside edge and into the wicketkeeper.
At the end of 4, it's 24 for 2.
So the West Indies women continue to tick away at the scoreboard here. But at this stage, Liam, we could safely say that the West Indies women's team has gifted this American under-19 team 2 wickets.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them. I think the first one was a bit of poor communication between Hari Charan and Ramtahal. And the second one, I just can't understand how Ramtahal didn't get back. I think maybe she took off a bit too late for that second run. Didn't run the first one hard enough, but I always felt like there was 2 on offer there.
Yeah, and I think as well too, at this stage of their development as well, it's always challenging, to get down and up, because some of these ladies, some will be quicker than some. So sometimes you have to equate that into the whole scenario, who you're running with,
So, Imadi is the new bowler, the leg spinner. That's a lovely shot there from Cumberbatch, showing a bit of touch as well.
Yeah, this one is played down to short just allowing that ball to come off the face of the bat, but no run resulting. So it's Cumberbatch on strike. Excellent indeed. Lovely delivery, lots of flight, asking the batters to come at her, but it's played in the textbook fashion right back to the bowler, and there's no run. So Cumberbatch continues.
Yeah, good to see some leg spin as well. This one short is hit up in the air over the middle fielder, and once again they're not getting the value for their shots on the outfield at the moment. And he just gets a single, but it was really a good looking shot.
But Cumberbatch would have thought maybe she has missed out there, Liam. If she had gotten a bit more elevation, it would have resulted in a boundary. But the ball continues just to sit into the surface. Oh, and what a wonderful piece of fielding there, indeed, at mid-off. Diving away to her right, You know, and this is really inspirational stuff here from the fielder at mid-off, throwing her frame and stopping what would have definitely been a boundary.
Off the back foot again, hit straight to mid-off. Hit with some power, so they're unable to get a single.
But some excellent fielding again. You know, the anticipation from the mid-off fielder has been really excellent in cutting off those balls, and inspirational fielding, you know, does go a long way in geeing up the entire team. This one off the back foot, just spinning away, and Cumberbatch rocks onto the back foot. We are back live here at UE. The first of 5 T20 games between USA under 19 and the CWI under 19 team, the West Indies under 19 team, being played right here at UE Spec Ground. We have a change in the bowling. Sanvi, right arm off spinner, bowling from around the wicket. She's bowling to Cumberbatch.
Well, Savi Mari would have bowled the last over. A bit of miscommunication again on a bad throw. A better throw. Might have seen some issues for the West Indies.
Yes, no, Liam sometimes could really create havoc when it comes to communication. But luckily for them, they were able to get back home, and no run resulted as well, no damage. This one is played off the back foot.
And hit straight to the cover fielder. So the West Indies is finding it a bit difficult at the moment to routine the strike. And
well, as we had seen earlier on, Liam, when the spinners tend to come on, you know, it seems to be a bit more challenging against the spinners rather than when the seamers are on.
Yeah, well, there's no pace on the ball, so it's not as easy to just tap the ball around and find the gap. You've got to make something happen when, you know, the bowlers are throwing the ball up, giving it some good air. And spinners have bowled smartly as well. And they bowl good areas. This time it's hit over the mid-wicket region into the boundary for 4. So another boundary for the West Indies. This time it's the first for Brathwaite.
Given some generous flight on leg stump, and Brathwaite just lifted that high and handsome over that fielder in the circle, and away she goes into the boundary for 4. So these two batters, they seem very, very intent on, you know, not allowing these USA bowlers to settle them.
Oh, looking to cut this time and not making any connection.
Excellent take from the
she
keeper.
cut at that ball so hard that if she did get any bat on it, it could have been another boundary.
Yeah, these two players just seem to go very hard indeed.
It goes over mid-wicket again, but the fielder is out there, and good captaincy from the US captain Chetner, moving that fielder who was very square at mid-wicket to now Musakau corner. The same shot that
got her a boundary.
that got Brathwaite the boundary is now just going to get a 1.
What is also interesting as well, at the last moment, the fielder at that deep mid-wicket, you know, just pulling out in time and not allowing herself to go full stretch for that ball, because it was always falling short of her. So very good, assessment in terms of, you know, her commitment to going towards that catch. So that single takes the score to 31 for 2, and we are out. The power play now is finished.
Still just the two fielders because they've not got enough runs on the board where they can allow too many singles. They've got to look for wickets. They've got to stay on the attack as Brathwaite is off the back foot. So no run.
Kambanapali continues here from the pavilion end. Right arm leg spinner.
This is Imadi, yeah.
Oh, my apology.
Yeah, Sanvi Imadi. We're yet to see Kambanapali into the attack, and she's another good young leg spinner.
And it's great to see. It's great to see leg spinners are gracing the fields, Liam, because we do know how effective the leggies are in world cricket.
Straight to long off, mid off that is.
So excellent feeling at mid off.
Alapati.
So Alapati continues to do some excellent work for USA.
Yeah, she has been the best fielder. And that's a diving effort and just in and out of the hands. Could not complete the catch, and Brathwaite lives to fight another day.
But a loud appeal as well, Liam, for a run out at the striker's end, but she did made it. Kamalbach was able to get in. So a early life there for Ebony Brathwaite, not getting over the ball, trying to carve that ball through that backward point region, and not being able to hold on to that catch. So yeah, how costly is this the catch is going to be for this USA team? The score moves on by 1. It's 32 for 2. We are into over number 7. And it's going to be Sanvi to continue.
It's been a very good over. Just 1 run off it. Make it 2. At the end of 7, it's 33 for 2.
And because of the intent of the batters, Liam, we've seen the fielder from mid-off. The skipper rightfully has stationed her right down to long off. So in the event that she wants to go over the top, she also creates a chance, but she is there to protect the boundary as well. So at the end of over number 7, it's 33 for 2. Kamalbach is on 15. Ebony Brathwaite, she's on 10. It's going to be...
looks like Chopra to continue.
Chopra is going to continue, the right arm off spinner, bowling from the U-spec end.
Yeah, I think aside from that boundary that she was hit for over mid-wicket, she's been very, very good. Just pretty much 5 good deliveries.
But we haven't seen the ball spun as much as it did in the first half of this encounter, Liam. So it does say that the surface is improving a lot.
I think she's also bowling around the wicket, and that one turned quite a bit. Beats the keeper, and a chance to get 2 runs here. And no, says Brathwaite.
And rightfully so. Excellent piece of fielding and a rifle of a return to the wicket keeper.
And the fielder there is Sasha.
So trying to make some room there, but eluded the keeper. Just goes between bat and pad there of Ebony Brathwaite, but also eluding the keeper at the last moment.
Oh no, good delivery.
So we see Chopra angling that ball. Not much spin on over now, Liam. She's more angling and trying to drift the ball away from the right-hander, and she's been able to do that successfully thus far.
So the deep point comes in now. Looking to go again and appeal, and she's gone. Caught behind. Caught on the 2nd or 3rd attempt from the wicket-keeper Pooja Ganesh. And the first wicket for Chopra. Brathwaite has to go. The West Indies are 34 for 3.
Yeah, Ebony Brathwaite won too much here, taking a very fine edge, but an excellent catch from the wicket keeper.
And the new batter for the West Indies is going to be Price, Abigail Price. She is in at number 5. And the West Indies won't want to lose another wicket quickly here. They need Price and Cumberbatch to just build a partnership, and ideally they would want the two of them to be there till the end.
Yeah, we'd say just 33 runs required and 75 balls. But if this USA team continue to chip away at the wickets, Liam, we could possibly be in for a very good finish.
Yeah, so the first wicket for Chopra.
So Chopra making her presence felt here at the U-Spec ground.
So she's gone over the wicket now, which is interesting. So which means that was a preconceived plan to bowl around the wicket to Brathwaite. She's gone over now.
But she just seems to be getting that drift. The ball is not spinning at all. It's more drift than anything else, and I think that is what is really hampering these batters. This one is played out to backward point. There's no run. So at the end of over there's one delivery remaining. 34 for 3.
Off the back foot, straight to the fielder. So no run. At the end of 8 now, it's 34 for 3. Chopra completing just 1 run off the over, and it was that bye. So lovely stuff from Chopra.
So 72 balls, 33 runs required. The balls is not the overs or the balls is not an issue. It's who could keep their nerve here now, Liam. In this contest, we're going to be walk-away winners.
I think, usually by now we would have seen Samara Ramnath come out to bat. And I think the only reason that we haven't seen her just yet is because of that finger that's still not completely healed. So.
And you do know when you suffer a broken finger, it takes a while before you become comfortable batting. Yeah, exactly, especially if the ball is hitting the bat very hard indeed and jarring, So I'm sure that Coach Mercer Aguilera would have taken all those things into consideration.
So changing bowling now from the pavilion end, and it's that name that we've been speaking about, Sainavi Kambalapali. She is in with her leg spin from the pavilion end, giving some air, too wide.
So Kambalapali plays to the Leeward Islands in the Rising Star Under-19 tournament. And it's great to see that Cricket West Indies is doing everything possible with their partnership with Cricket USA to ensure that the development of the sport is taking place.
Giving some air, hit straight, very straight, and into the boundary for 4.
What a gorgeous cricket shot indeed from Cumberbatch there. A flighted delivery there from Kambalapani, and Cumberbatch needed no other invitation than to loft it as straight as an arrow over the bowler's head and into the boundary. That takes the score on to 39 for 3. Cumberbatch moves to 19 from 16 delivery.
I love the way that Cumberbatch has approached this innings, and I think she's going to play more shots like that. That's when it's over cover. They look for 2 and they get there easily. And I think because Kambalapali is giving the ball some flight, probably a bit more than all the other bowlers that we've seen, I think Cumberbatch is probably going to look to cash in. But it could also work against her because the fielders are out.
Well, one thing to note is that Kambalapali, what she's doing is that she's really trying to tempt Cumberbatch into chasing something that's wide and spinning away.
It's a lovely shot, lovely cricket from Cumberbatch. After 2 expansive shots, she gets a better ball and just tucks it down the ground for a single.
Yeah, so very good batting indeed. Measured batting, as I would say. Taking that ball from the line of the off stump, using some risk and getting it down to long on, and there's a single. That takes her on to 22, but it does bring Abigail Bryce on strike. Abigail Bryce.
Kambalapali is bringing in the fielder at cover. deep cover into the circle. Oh, and Bryce to kind of throw her hands at that one.
Yeah, just looking to length and play that cut shot through that backward point region. She was looking for that gap between backward point and third man, but not making contact. Excellent delivery again.
9 runs of the over, still 2 deliveries to go. This time hit in the air. The field that long off comes in, just short. And they get a single.
So Bryce looking to go downtown, not getting the connection. But luckily for her, had she gotten some better connection, she may have found that fielder on the long off boundary, Liam.
Yeah, I think it works out for her in the end. So 10 runs of this Kambala Pali over, 1 delivery to go. The score now 44 for 3. Oh, unbeaten by the flight. Oh, at the end of 9, it's 44 for 3.
So a very good finish to the over there. Serving up some generous flight, but it was a googly there, Liam, looking to get that ball above the eye line and open up that gap between bat and pad. She was able to do that, but the bounce was so alarming that it just took it over the off stump. So very good finish to that over. At the end of over number...
Yeah, at the end of 9, it's 44 for 3. There was a single of the 5th delivery in the over. And then the dot ball to finish. So looks like it's going to be Chopra to continue. Going back to around the wicket now for Bryce.
So it is a definite plan indeed to bowl wide to these players and them.
Well, I think that's a harsh call there from umpire Laborde. I think that's got to be a wide. She's gotten away with one here. This time hit straight back over the bowler's head. The fielder gets around quickly, so they'll get a single.
So a lofted drive from Bryce. Just chipping the ball over the bowler's head. Single and offer, but it does bring Cumberbatch on strike.
And that's the danger for the US. If Cumberbatch continues to play the way she's been playing, this game can be done very quickly. There's 22 runs required now. And they hit down to long off for a single. So Cumberbatch looking good.
Yeah, Chopra making a valiant attempt there to cut off that ball. But it dribbles down to long off where there's a single on offer. But it brings Abigail Bryce, on strike.
Oh, looking to work it into the one side for 1. Oh, a direct hit. Brilliant work from Kambala Pali there at backward square. Not allowing the single and showing that she's got that rocket arm.
Excellent fielding from Kambala Pali.
One delivery to go in the 10th as we get ready for the drinks break. Going into the break, I think the West Indies will be very happy.
Bryce trying to...
In fact, one delivery to go now. We don't want to lose a wicket right before the break. Chopra has been excellent. Off the back foot, punching down to mid-off for another dot. So at the end of 10, it's 46 for 3. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
We are back live here at U-Spec. It's the first of 5 T20 games between the West Indies under-19 ladies coming up against Cricket USA. A bilateral series between these two nations. So it's going to be Madhavan to continue. Oh, it's going to be Kampalapani. And this ball is drilled down to long on. There's one on offer. Takes the score on to 47. It actually is Sanvi. Short onto the back foot, Bryce looking to pierce that offside field, plays it out to extra cover, there's no run. Another flighted delivery, just eludes the fielder at extra cover. Beaten in the flight was Bryce, and it dribbles down to mid-off, there's no run. And big inside edge there. It was the googly keeping a tad glue, Bryce trying to muscle that ball through mid-wicket. It kept a bit low and ricocheted off the pads. And lovely running indeed. Excellent running indeed from Bryce and Cumberbatch, and was off and running from the wood go. I'd like to say special welcome to Liam Amchan.
Yeah, that's an excellent single there. Showing the presence of mind to drop the ball and control the weight of the shot and get a single. And this one hit straight back down the ground, almost taking out Bryce at the non-striker's end.
Yeah, that ball was flat batted with tremendous power from Cumberbatch. It raced down to long on. But at the end of over number 11, the West Indies chasing
67 for victory there, 49 for 3, 18 runs to get. And the US need to make something happen here. They need to pick up 2 or 3 wickets in very quick succession if they're going to drag their way back into this game.
Well, they could go the other way as well, Liam. With the state of the current situation, they may just take the opportunity to try and expose, give some more opportunities, for some of their, their other bowlers, the opportunity to get in some match practice.
Yeah, right about that, and I think that's probably the way that they should head. Chopra comes in to bowl her final over in the air, just short.
But what an excellent attempt there from the backward point fielder, diving full stretch. That ball was always dying, but very good commitment indeed.
Yeah, it looks like Sanvi and Madi there at backward point.
Yeah,
it's good to see they're still trying.
Well, what is excellent about it is that they do have a plan against the right-handers bowling from around the wicket, and I must admit that Chopra is doing exactly what is required.
Yeah, they're trying to take the ball away, out of the reach of Cumberbatch and Bryce.
Yeah, taking that ball away from their eye line, and more importantly, that arc.
Just like that, and this time it's just a full toss. They'll get another single, so they rotated the strike nicely off the 51 for 3, now just 16 runs required for West Indies victory.
So 16 required from 51 balls. Under normal conditions, we will say it's a walk in the park.
Well bowled again.
This is played neatly off the back foot by Cumberbatch. She finds a cover point. There's no run.
Oh, an appeal, and she's given. Cumberbatch throwing it away. She has to go 26. A runner ball 26 look very good in this innings, but falling for the trick as Chopra continued to bowl around the wicket and arc the ball across the right-handers. She has to go.
And both Ebony and Cumberbatch, what they were guilty of doing is pulling away, you know, when trying to cut the delivery. So which means to say that the hands go away from the body, Liam. Hence, both of them, you know, got fine edges to the keeper, but take nothing away from the keeper and Chopra. The team is working with a plan, and their plan is to take that ball away. So just looking at again, pulling away towards leg stump, and the hands go away. Hence the reason why the fine edge is taken. So Chopra, just one delivery to finish her complement of 4 overs, 9 for 2. What a lovely return indeed for her.
Yeah, the new batsman is Samara Ramnath, and the icing on the cake for her return is if she can get these remaining runs and be there till the end. Picked up 3 wickets in her earlier spell with the ball in hand. First game, as you mentioned, handled in over a month because of that broken finger. It's good to see her out there.
But she is indeed a very tough cookie. And she comes stylishly on the front foot, plays it out to a short cover. There's no run, but at the end of the over, it's 51 for 4.
Yeah, just 16 required now.
So the required run rate is not a factor. 2 runs and over. But I'm sure the West Indies women's team, they will want to try and finish this as quick as possible, because at the end of the day, Liam, it's important to get that psychological advantage going deeper into this bilateral series. You want to have that level of dominance. And this ball is played neatly to cover point off the back foot there, Bryce. Sanvi Imadi. And some generous flight, and the wicketkeeper is pleading with the umpire there for a stumping opportunity.
I think Pooja Ganesh behind the stumps has been top class. She's been excellent for the US today, and she's been the real live wire behind the stumps as well, which is what you want from your wicketkeeper. You want your wicketkeeper to be the voice of the team. And this one sit down to long on for a single.
So nicely flighted delivery there. Bryce punch it down to a long on. There's just a single on offer, but it brings the West Indies captain on strike, Samara Ramnath, having a lovely return to competitive cricket, getting 3 scalps in the USA innings. And that one did kept a bit low, but Samara Ramnath was looking at it all the way until it made contact to the bat. We do know that she loves to get on with it, Samara Ramnath.
Wow,
And this one,
the outside edge there. So this is good bowling from Imadi. I think, you know, you got 2 deliveries left of Imadi, and you know now Pooja Ganesh's spell is over, and those have been the 2 best bowlers. So you
with
see
the ball,
them out.
but Liam, with the ball spinning away, I would be tempted just to get that slip in.
Yeah, I think so, and I think you're very much right about that. You could have seen there from that shot with that bit of flight that's coming in, that edge would really be on the cards. But her spell is over now. 4 overs for 8 runs. A brilliant spell from Sanvi Imadi. And you know, you look at around at the bowlers. You've got your 2 fast bowlers, but you've also got Kambala Pali, who I think could go both ways.
And I strongly believe that once the leg spinners are in operation, you could take that gamble by having a first slip in place, because they are your trump card, they are your attacking options. they are the bowlers that are going to bring you wickets. Not that the other bowlers are not going to bring you wickets, but the potential to get wickets at important times in the game, you're going to throw that ball to your leg spinner.
Yeah, exactly so. And I think another thing to consider is that it is not likely that they're going to defend 15 runs in 7 overs without taking wickets.
But having said that, there's a change.
Up is the fast bowler, and it looks to be Chowdhury. Tia Chowdhury is into the attack.
So like we
Six,
had
seven,
alluded to, they are going to explore a bit in allowing some of these bowlers to have a run.
It's got a very nice action. High front arm, good load up. Seems to have all the tools. You know, she's somebody to work with.
Yeah, what I like about her is she's just nice and smooth, hitting the crease and following through really nicely.
Yeah, very good. All her energy is, transferring forward towards the batsman, and that's what you want as a fast bowler. And she seems to have found a good little spot here.
Yeah, just hitting that hard length, Liam, which sometimes could be a bit difficult to negotiate, but she has started really well.
Oh, and this is a lovely shot from Bryce, but brilliant bit of work from Imadi at point. They get one.
It's a lovely piece of feeling. Again, just a single.
Driven down the ground, Ramnath still yet to get off the mark. So she'll be growing frustrated, but don't think there's any need for her to, be too upset. She's still got a lot of time out there.
Yeah, and at this stage of the contest, Liam, you can allow yourself to, play yourself in, get the pace of the pitch. There's no rush or there's no... Oh my goodness. And here a chance goes a begging there. That ball was drilled back to the bowler with tremendous power. But at the end of the over, the West Indies are 53 for 4, 14 runs required, and 36 deliveries remain.
Neha Alapati is the new bowler from the pavilion end. Oh, and she's bowled! Well, look at her pull. And she pulled so early, it seemed that she almost pulled the ball onto her stump. Let's have a look at it.
Yeah, possibly just getting on the edge there, Liam.
Yeah, that's a big wicket because Bryce has been out there for quite some time, and the new batter is going to be
And the West Indies at this stage making hard work of this total, Liam.
and it's going to be Tiani Herbert Myers, who bowled brilliantly earlier on. She has a job to do with the bat now, and I don't think they will feel under any sort of pressure because of the fact that the skipper's out there, Samara Ramnath, and she is a top order batter. So she
But-
can negotiate this well.
Yeah, but Neha making an immediate impact coming to the bowling crease, getting rid of the very dangerous Bryce. So the USA continues to fight back by chipping away at the wickets.
You know, I like this from the USA. I like that they're not giving up. They're fighting till the very last.
And even if they go down in this first encounter here, Liam, there's going to be a lot of positives to take into the dressing room and further into the rest of games.
I think another thing to look at is that you need to win games when you get the chance, because you're not sure with the way that the weather has been in Trinidad if you're going to get your full complement of 5 games. So when you've got a game to win, you've got to try to win it and make sure you have points on the board.
Of course, indeed, and that's a point well taken, Liam, because at any moment, you know, the weather could change and washed out games are always on the cards.
So Myers just facing her first delivery. Wide ball.
Trying to angle that ball into the pads of the batters, just getting that wrist position going away from the target, and that ball continues to angle down the leg side. But excellent take indeed by the wicketkeeper. Here she repeats the dose, so the score goes up by 1. So Neha just seems to be struggling a bit, maybe overstriding here, Liam.
Yeah, and I don't think he could afford especially after that great start, which she picked up a wicket off her first delivery. And she needs to continue to be wicket to wicket. Try to hit the stumps, let the batsman make the mistake. Short and wide, and not timing it well.
Myers trying to cream that ball through extra cover, just getting on the edge. It dribbles away out to cover, and there is no run. So the score remains, it's all the 5s, 55 for 5. And another wide from Neha. She continues to struggle.
Well, she's taken the required amount of runs down to 11 now. Down the leg side again, so just 10 now. And I want to ask you, who have been, some of the players that you've been most impressed with after day 1 of this series?
Just go back, Liam.
I want to know which players today that you've seen have impressed you the most.
To be honest with you, it's too early to make an assessment, because the conditions to me haven't really given all the players the best opportunity to showcase their talent. But what we have seen, there's definitely an abundance of talent from both sides, and they have 5 games in which to showcase to the world where their cricket is at the moment, and where the potential is to take it forward. So I think for both teams, the West Indies and this USA team, with the World Cup coming up in soon, some of these girls will be looking to be trying to crack open the door to selection.
Yeah, I agree with you, but if I have to pinpoint a few just based on what we've seen today, I've been very impressed with the way that Cumberbatch bowled and batted. I think she's going to be a good all-rounder for this young West Indies women's team. I think you saw her with the bat, the way that she approached the innings, and that's a big hit from Ramnath. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and into the boundary for 4. So within touching distance now, 6 runs to get.
And the skipper here taking matters into our own hands here, short and really asking to be hit away. That ball just sat up on the surface, and the skipper Samara Ramnath just lofted that ball over that deep mid-wicket area, and it goes into the boundary. So she is off and running with a boundary. Samara Ramnath, the skipper of the West Indies team. So in this innings, 3 fours and 1 6 thus far, 11 runs required, Liam. And just coming back to what you said about Kamabach, I honestly think that, you know, she's got fitness, she's very powerful as well, and you know, as she continues to develop, she will definitely dominate. She has that imposing figure when she's at the crease, Liam, both bowling and batting. So very bright future indeed, you know, for West Indies cricket indeed. Najani Kamabach.
Yeah, and I think you've obviously got the mainstay like Samara Ramnath, who's been a part of this team before, who's coming back off an injury and is back like she never left. And I think on the US part, I think the bowlers have been pretty impressive to me. I like the look of Mari, the amount of control that she has for a young leg spinner is always good to see. And also my Madhavan, I think she's a superb fast bowler.
Well, I'm
There's a lot
sure
of raw talent to work with there.
I'm sure we would both agree that we haven't seen the best of this US team yet, and you know they're gonna get, you know, a lot better by come the next game. Conditions, if the conditions remain the way they are.
Just 3 to get now, down the leg side and another wide. So a West Indies win on the horizon, and it's been a while since we've been able to say that. They're having a tough time against Australia at the moment, the senior men's team.
Well, I'll tell you what, Liam, there hasn't been much to smile about, and this victory is definitely going to bring, you know, some smiles, you know, around the region, you know, in however form or fashion.
Yeah, 100%, and I think, you know, these young ladies are getting the opportunity to represent a West Indies region
But
that has been, you know, as you might rightfully said, there's not been much to smile about, and they are going to be the reason that
to bring a smile,
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
fans in the Caribbean. Now, having said that, I want to see the likes of Amrita Ramtahal, the Ramnath, you know, these players who have been around for a season or two. For me personally, you know, I believe at this stage now they should show some level of maturity and dominance. Yes, you're gonna have failures, but at the end of the day, playing at this level, you want to start to dominate. You want to start to have that level of authority when you walk out there, right? You know, people know it's business, but this is someone, you know, that you want to be competing against.
that's going to be the winning runs for the West Indies. They emerge victorious here over the USA by 5 wickets. And what a performance it has been with the ball in hand. And as you can see there, the judge man of the match, and I think rightfully so, is going to be Najani Kamabach. 26, a runner ball 26 with 2 fours and a 6. A runner ball in conditions that it wasn't easy to score in. And then she came in with the ball earlier on, 4 for 12. And 4 wickets as well, and a maiden over. She was excellent. So I don't think there's any other way to turn. Maybe Samara Ramnath would have given her a bit of competition for that Man of the Match award, but I definitely think Najani Kamabach is our player of the match.
Yeah, and many congratulations to Najani Kamabach, really establishing herself here early in the piece, Liam, you know, with that kind of commanding performance, and it's something that could really, you know, set alight that entire West Indies team by that kind of dominance, you know. And but like I say, it's really early days in the piece where these two teams are concerned, and I'm sure that, you know, this American team is going to definitely test this West Indies team, you know, in the near future in the other games.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be all from us here. The West Indies under 19 women victorious by 5 wickets, and Najani Kamabach is going to be the player of the match. So join us for match number 2. That's going to be all from us here. We wish you a good afternoon.